Let's get out of here.
Yeah. What does he have? What does he have, Austin? Austin! Don't leave me!
It is. What is happening?
On June 25th, 2025, YouTuber Thomas Locke posted about a personal first doing a completely solo wild camp in the woods. The video had a much calmer, more reflective vibe than his usual content. He camped on private land with permission, choosing a spot that felt isolated but still safe. It wasn't about testing survival skills or facing harsh conditions. It was more about learning to be okay with being alone and building mental strength.
I appreciate this isn't like wild camping. I imagine a lot of people are thinking, oh well, this is just car camping. At a certain point, all you're doing is car camping. And that's true, but what I need to do, and I've said this a few times recently, is build up this like tolerance to camping, where I know that I'm going to get a good night's sleep. I know I'm not going to get freaked out by the sounds in the night. This is a perfect spot, by the way. This is literally a perfect spot. Car's just there. A bit lame, but this is a good spot. I've got to build up that tolerance. I've got to get used to the sounds of the woodland in the night, and knowing that I'm in a safe place, I have permission to be in, is going to help with that, for sure. Because you see what happened with the, and I felt like I was being watched, and I felt like I wasn't welcome. Whereas I know I could be being watched. I haven't got to worry about anything like that.
The evening went fine. Thomas set up his tent near his vehicle and live streamed for a while. He said he felt a bit nervous, but he was mentally okay at the time.
Right, so that's the live stream done. Not bad at all. Shout out to Ian for the super chat, £5, what a legend. And that'll be available to watch as well if you want to catch up with all that. It was a lot of nonsense. I had some absolute freaks in my chat tonight. It's starting to get dark. So I think, it's not, like, it's still bright out, like you can see the sky is still bright. I think I'm gonna head into bed. The darker it gets, the more panicky I'm gonna be. There's no reason to be.
I won't lie. I'm not feeling it. Oh god, I just saw a tree, and for a second there I thought, oh god, it looked like a creature, man. My brain recognised it as that, and then I turned away and I looked back, and then it processed it. Yeah, no, I'm not feeling it, boys. Just chill out and calm my nerves down, I'll be fine. I literally came off the live stream, looked around.
After the stream ended and it got dark, that sense of comfort faded. In the low light, his mind started playing tricks on him. A tree trunk looked like a person for a moment, and his brain convinced him someone was standing there.
Chill out for a little bit, see how I feel. I need to get over it, man. I need to get over it. It's as simple as that. Persevere. Just what I wanted. Monk chat going crazy. I'm chilling out though. I'm glad that I caught that sort of moment of like doubt on camera. It's very hot. I'm gonna stick it out. That would be a terribly freaky noise if I didn't know what it was.
As he was starting to fall asleep, a sharp cry that sounded like a human scream jolted him awake. It kept happening for over 20 minutes. He later figured it was likely a muntjac deer known for making eerie, human-like sounds. Even with that explanation, the mood had changed. He couldn't relax or sleep, and every noise felt amplified. Worn down and unable to rest, he packed up and left, choosing to go back to the road rather than stay in a state of constant tension. Homemade Wanderlust is a YouTube channel run by Dixie, who first became known for documenting her through hike of the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. Her content now focuses on backpacking basics, gear reviews, and long-distance hiking tips for hikers of all experience levels. On May 18, 2025, she was camping at Grass Shack Camp in southern Arizona.
Thank you. Yeah. It wasn't okay. Is that a skunk? Hey, bro. Get. No. Get. Shoo. Get. Please don't stink up my... Son of a... Don't mess me. God, you do stink. Go. Get. Get. No. Get. Get. No. God. Get. Get. Get.
Early that morning, while Dixie was still in her tent and worn out from the day before's climb, she noticed something moving outside. A skunk had wandered into the campsite, behaving oddly and showing no fear of people at all.
There's a skunk attacking my tent! Get the back! Get back! Yeah, there's a skunk, like, attacking my tent. He's hissing at me and... A skunk! Trying to get in. Get back! Get back! He's gonna bust through! Get back!
The skunk pushed up against the tent, clawing and biting at the netting. Dixie yelled and used her trekking pole to scare it off, but it kept circling the tent and rushing back in unpredictable bursts.
Oh my god. I don't know. He keeps circling and coming back. I don't see him right this second. But he keeps coming up to my netting and trying to bite through. My food bag is in the bear bag, or in the bear thing. I am so sorry. I know you're probably like, this woman is psycho.
He's gonna throw some rocks at him.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's like I didn't want to have to hurt him, but like I was just like, bro, if it's me or you. I don't know. I'm telling you, I've never heard of a damn attack skunk.
Yeah, unless they're
Rabid, yeah. I mean, he was hissing and biting at, like, it wasn't just he was sashaying, like, and I was hitting at the tent and he would charge. And I had my tripod up, like, because I don't have my trekking pole, it's part of my tent.
Eventually, nearby hikers heard the noise and came over to help. With them there, Dixie packed up quickly and moved away from the campsite. Even then, the skunk followed close behind for a while before disappearing into the brush, leaving everyone uneasy. Dixie wasn't hurt, but the encounter left her shaken. On February 29th, 2012, a simple walk in the woods turns eerie. Filmed by Nathan Arnold, the short clip follows him and his young son along a quiet forest path. What feels like an ordinary afternoon suddenly grows uncomfortable, not because of any sound or threat, but because of a motionless figure standing far off between the trees.
You don't see that?
I don't see anything. What is that?
You see it?
Yeah. What is that? Gosh.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Something strange catches their attention further up the path. The camera briefly shows a tall, shadowy figure standing deeper in the woods, draped in what appears to be a long, dark cloak, and completely still. The footage is grainy, making details hard to see, but the figure's height and rigid shape are immediately unsettling. Nathan lowers his voice, and his son quietly says he sees it too. They don't try to get closer or investigate. Instead, they turn around and leave. Despite the clip being short and blurry, it has a strong impact. Some think it could be a cryptid. Others believe it was just a person in dark clothing. But what makes the video unsettling isn't the image. It's their genuine reaction and instinct to retreat. In Chicago, Illinois, a YouTuber named Exploring with Waya returned to a location with a friend where she believed she had previously seen a clown. Hoping to confirm whether the sighting was real, they walked along a deserted path lit only by their camera until they heard something nearby.
No, what is that? What is that? What does he have? What does he have, Austin? Austin! Don't leave me!
The clown showed up again. Panicked, they took off running as it chased them into the darkness. The video ends right there, so no one knows what happened after, but it's assumed they got away safely. Ben is known for looking into strange, unexplained cases, but this one turned out to be among the most disturbing he'd ever handled. A farmer contacted him about odd lights at night, unsettling sounds, and cattle disappearing without explanation. Intrigued, Ben agreed to stay overnight on the property, setting up camp right next to a massive cornfield.
Spending the night solo hammock camping right next to a farm that's been encountering strange phenomena. Tonight, see if we can see anything untoward. I've set myself up here on the edge of the farm. People have reported strange lights moving across these fields. Workers talk about hearing noises that they can't explain. And there are claims of cattle vanishing without a trace. Here to try and capture whatever is behind this. So, the farmer in our discussion has already mentioned seeing strange lights at night time hovering above the field. Now, I didn't ask in the conversation what crop was growing in that field, so this is the first time for me as well seeing this, but funnily enough, it's corn. We all know the links that UFOs have with corn fields and crop circles. Something that I'm going to note down, something that I'm going to be very aware of. And tonight, even, I'm going to come back and really go through that field and maybe just sit down, absorb, listen, keep my eyes peeled for anything that maybe help me in this.
The farmer had described seeing glowing lights drifting over the fields, and after checking out the area, Ben couldn't ignore that the campsite was surrounded by corn, a crop often tied to UFO and crop circle claims. His plan was simple: monitor the property, record what he could, and note anything out of the ordinary. He also wanted to walk the field, get familiar with the surroundings, and see if there were any traces of what the farmer had reported.
So it's started raining, which was forecast. This is setting now for the rest of the night as well. So I've been keeping my eye on the weather forecast, and I think in the next few hours we're due a thunderstorm. It's really starting to come down now. So there's only about 20-30 minutes worth of decent light left. Just behind me is the cornfield. I'll pick a spot out at random in the cornfield. Okay guys, so I've pushed quite a way into the cornfield at this point. It's almost night time. I've been sat down here for about 10-15 minutes. I can hear a train off in the distance. There's owls hooting off to my right. There's a real pungent smell of something at this point. Could be the crop. Although I'm smelling everything on the crop and it doesn't sound. The aim is to keep looking up through the crop and see if any of those strange lights pass overhead. About 5 minutes into me being sitting here, I heard what sounded like an animal pushing its way through the crop. A minute, it sounded like it was coming in my direction. I could hear the trampling of something making its way through, something that sounded large. It wasn't a rat or, some small rodent. This thing was actually moving crop out of the way, so I was thinking badger or fox, but it then stopped. So before I could give a positive idea on what that was, the noise and the movement through this corn was just non-existent, which was weird. I've been sat here listening to something move back and forth. I've got Lily with me.
Not long after sunset, a storm rolled in, heavy rain shaking his tent. Once it finally passed, he stepped into the cornfield and settled in to listen. The area went quiet, broken only by distant owl calls and the low sound of a train passing by. Then a sharp, unfamiliar smell drifted through the corn, something he couldn't place. Moments later, he heard movement. Something big was pushing through the stalks, loud enough to rule out small animals. Then it suddenly stopped, and the field fell completely silent.
Something in the distance, boo. There's something in the distance. 1 second. Lily, stay. There's a blue light. It's reflecting off the crop. What the hell is that? 1 second. I'm gonna turn my torch on. There's no noise. Just a blue light. What the hell is that? There is something definitely moving through this crop in front of me, but it's difficult to gauge any kind of distance. What the hell? This light is happening all around me. It's hard to tell or orientate yourself, but I'm actually filming in all directions at this point. The light hasn't changed colour, it's just been a blue, ice cold blue light. Here it is again. It seems like it's moving. Guys, I'm gonna move. There is something walking through this cornfield. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. That is in the cornfield. It looks like it's off in the distance, but it's actually in the cornfield. What the hell? How is that? So I'm back in the woods now, guys. I don't know if you can see this behind me.
Soon after, a faint blue light showed up deep in the corn. It flickered, vanished, then reappeared, steady and silent with no clear source. The light reflected off the stalks and seemed to move around the field. Ben filmed what he could, but the darkness made it hard to tell how far away it was. Eventually, it felt too unsettling, so he left the field and went back to his campsite.
So this now this footage that you're watching is roughly about 5 days after the footage that you've just seen. I've spoken to the farmer again recently, keeping all that information to myself. All I'm saying to him is that I have been out there and I have experienced X, Y and Z. But dates and times, I'm keeping that to myself. Now what's interesting is during our recent conversation, one of the farm hands that work and live on the farm has been experiencing some night terrors that are based around extraterrestrial abduction scenarios. Dreams that he believes where he's being pulled out of bed and he's waking up on the floor in the dark with no idea physically how he got there. What's really strange is that on one of these occasions when these night terrors first started is exactly the same day I was in the cornfield sat there watching these blue lights. Is it linked? Is that a coincidence?
The next morning, Ben met with the farmer again and learned something even more disturbing. One of the farmhands had been having severe night terrors, dreams of being pulled from his bed by strange figures and waking up on the floor with no memory of how he got there. What unsettled Ben most was the timing. The first night those nightmares started was the same night he saw the blue lights in the cornfield. According to the farmer, the lights kept appearing in the days that followed. Whether it was a coincidence or something more, what happened on the property left Ben with far more questions than answers. On August 19th, 2016, a group of 12 divers entered the underwater cave systems off Palinuro, Italy. Among them were 3 seasoned divers, Mauro Camardella, Mauro Tancredi, and Silvio Anzola, who had years of experience in those waters, with Camardella even running a local dive shop. What was meant to be a routine training dive near a rock wall called Immersione Aretusa turned dangerous. The area was beautiful, but deceptive, hiding narrow tunnels, silty floors, and tight chambers where visibility could disappear instantly. At some point, the 3 men separated from the main group and entered a restricted cave known as Scaletta, infamous for its depth and heavy silt. Inside, the floor was disturbed, kicking up a cloud that plunged visibility from clear blue to total darkness. Without a guideline, they became lost in a maze of dead ends. The rest of the group surfaced safely around 10 a.m., but the 3 never returned. Rescue divers faced near impossible conditions, zero visibility and tight passages.
It's really cool.
How's it set up here?
Oh, good. You made it.
Dude, yeah, I made it. This is feeling nice, man. Got my scuba tank. Water is perfectly clear. I'm not sinking. Those are the things. Oh, this is... Look how clear that water is. Yeah, it's like a waterfall dome or something. It's just falling from the ceiling. Everything about this place is just awesome. There they are. Holy crap. Oh, I found another machine. And I see a third machine. There's machinery underwater.
Feels good, actually.
Feels good.
Feels good.
Yeah. All right, we are heading to another spot. Yeah, I can tell. Alright? Yeah. When you get to the top, just reach over to that edge and pull yourself up like that. It's scary, right? Yeah. You're descending into the depths of despair. It's hard to tell what's going on down there, but he's made it at least 10 feet. I can tell that. And he's still going. All right, he's coming back up. No, he's still going down for some reason. Oh, here he comes. Dang, I thought you were a goner for sure. Heck yeah, man. Oh my gosh. That was freaky. Oh my gosh. You went down far. You went down far, dude. Wow. I used up every bit in this tank. You used it all? Yeah. Every freaking bit. You see anything? Yeah, literally I got to the point where it's like a little circle right here. It opened up into the center. I don't even know what's going on around me anymore. That pipe just started moving. Oh my god. What happened? I'm just thinking this whole thing starts shaking like violently. I saw it and then I felt it. Oh my god. Okay, if that happened while I was down there, I would have been a goner. Because I would have started freaking out. Well, I still want to know what happened. The whole thing moved. It's embedded in rock too. That's not just going to move. The whole thing is just shaking. Whoo! That's scary. We got to get out of here, guys.
After hours of searching, Camardella and Tancredi were found in a silt-filled chamber with no exit, and Zola's body was recovered nearly a week later, wedged deeper in the cave. The incident shocked Italy's diving community. Though all three were highly skilled, they were not certified cave divers, and investigators later concluded that silt, disorientation, loss of visibility, and panic led to their deaths. This unsettling clip comes from Franco TV, a YouTuber known for hiking alone through dark, eerie forests. While walking at night in an area locals call the Skinwalker forest, he starts hearing something strange echoing through the trees. At first it's faint, then it becomes clearer, a sound like a dog barking in the distance. But deep out there, far from any town or trail, there shouldn't have been anyone or anything around.
Okay. I'm gonna keep moving forward. here because I had my flashlight on. What the hell was that? Sound like a dog. Okay. I'm gonna keep moving forward. They know I'm here because I had my flashlight on. What the hell was that? Sound like a dog. Is that a dog? Did I get off at the wrong road? Holy. Alright, I'm gonna come back. Let's go down the mountain here.
Was it meant to scare him off or to draw him in? Why did it sound so intentional, almost controlled? And if the forest was truly empty, what was aware of his presence? The YouTube channel Lost Lakes, run by Aaron and John, usually focuses on peaceful backcountry camping in Canada. Their videos are calm and quiet, nothing scary. But one night, John went through something completely different. This wasn't planned or meant to be filmed. John was camping alone near Highway 101 outside Chapleau, an area that looks easy to reach, but is surrounded by remote wilderness and known for black bears. After waking up sometime after 3 a.m., he couldn't fall back asleep. Everything seemed fine at first. But around 3:30, he started hearing slow, deliberate footsteps pacing around his tent.
Well, I am living every solo camper's nightmare right now. There appears to be an animal of some kind pacing around my tent. It's the middle of the night. I woke up at 3 a.m. and just couldn't sleep. And then around 3:30, I started to hear this pacing sound, and 45 minutes later it's still just pacing around out there. So I'm going to talk it out with the GoPro and maintain sanity and maybe the talking.
The minutes dragged on and the sound never stopped. Whatever was outside wasn't just passing by, it stayed, circling the tent.
This is some very remote country despite being right off the highway. And it's the black bear capital of the world, so I'm thinking that's a possibility. To keep the paranoia away, as I call it, we got three main tools. If you're a solo camper, I think these are well worth having with you. Even in the backcountry, it's a little extra weight, but a little air horn. That's the first line of defense. Along with the headlamp. The bright light can be a good tool in trying to blind an animal that has much better night vision than ours, but would be very sensitive to light. Second line of defense, if the thing starts poking its nose at the tent, then I have got this little hatchet here, which I could whack it with this like sheath on, and worst case, take the sheath off. And then last line of defense, you might think this would be the second one, is the bear spray. If I use the bear spray in the tent, I'm going to get blinded and incapacitated. Probably more than, let's say, a bear, if it is a bear. If it were to try and raid my tent, I'm probably going to get the worst of it. The idea being that hopefully it also gets hit and runs away, and then I can just recover in safety. And my car is literally right outside there, but I can't find my car key for the life of me. I think I may have left it in the car. So while I'm tempted to hop out and get in the car, turn on my headlights, that's not an option right now because I'm an idiot and I can't find my key.
The pacing kept going, and it was clear his night was nowhere near over.
The talking isn't making it go away, but it hasn't made a move toward the tent yet, so I don't know. Maybe it's just curious and Maybe it's biding its time for an attack. I don't know. So a few bonus items. Something literally just touched my tent before I turned on the camera. But I don't think it's whatever is making that noise. It was probably just a mouse or something. But I'm not really appreciated right now. Second, there's no cell signal here. And third, I have to pee.
Whether it was something tiny or something much bigger, rubbing against the tent didn't really matter. In the dark, the unknown is scary on its own. There was no signal and no way to get help. After over an hour of stress, exhaustion started taking over, and John nearly fell asleep again. As morning approached, the sky brightened and the sounds faded. Whatever had been circling never did anything more. There were no answers, but when daylight came, John was safe. Bell Explorers is a UK paranormal channel that focuses on first-person visits to historic woodland locations. Their style is low-key and natural, relying on real-time reactions and spending time in the environment instead of staging anything. This investigation takes place on October 5th, 2025 in Pluckley Woods, England.
We haven't had any encounters as of yet. We're just chilling. Right guys, we've had no encounters just yet.
Nothing so far.
We're just chilling and waiting for something to happen. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. Might even ask a few questions. So if there's any spirits present, please make yourself known or heard. Completely silent. If there are any spirits present, please make a tappy noise, crunchy noise, throw something at me. Just something to know that you're here. Anything.
Spirit, if you're here, please make yourself shown. Known.
We would like a chat. God, wind's creepy, isn't it?
It is. It wasn't a safety spirit, possibly.
What's that down there?
The team heads into Pluckley Woods, near a spot locals call Dead Man's Corner, an area tied to old folklore. They stick to a quieter path, noticing thick undergrowth and unusually large fungi along the way. The forest feels closed in and quiet, with limited visibility and dampened sound. To catch the atmosphere clearly, they use a phone mic and move carefully, staying alert to everything around them.
Let me zoom in. There's someone there.
Something.
There's someone there.
Oh, that's weird. Who's that? There's something there.
That is weird. So far away.
I think there's something there.
There is someone there. I'm telling you now, there's someone there. There is someone there. That is sketchy, isn't it? That's well sketchy. They're miles down the path, but they're just standing. They're not even moving.
No.
That is sketchy, mate.
That is weird. That one.
Up ahead on the path, they spot a tall, human-shaped figure standing still. It's too far away and too dark to see clearly, so they pause and talk through what it could be. Maybe another person, or just a trick of the light and shadows.
That can't be right. Is that it again?
That is.
It's the other way, isn't it?
Well, he wasn't, obviously wasn't there when we walked past, was he?
No, well, we've just been there a couple of seconds ago.
That's wrong.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Do you reckon he needs help?
Don't know. Do you think it's a person?
Oh, it's definitely a person. That's not paranormal. That's a person.
Oh, yeah.
Hello?
Not long after, the figure appears again, this time much closer. With how tight the paths are and how dense the woods feel, the timing seems strange. Even if it's just a person, it's enough to make them stay alert and rethink their route.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Hello?
Are you okay? Where's he going?
I don't know about this.
What do we do? What if he's in trouble?
Yeah, what if he needs help? That didn't look right.
So he just disappeared?
Well, he was just walking funny, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was walking really funny.
Hello?
You alright? Do you need help?
We're not going to harm you. Please don't harm us. We're just coming to see if you're alright.
What the bloody hell's he done?
I don't know. He went into those bushes. I swear he was over here somewhere.
Yeah, he disappeared into this lot.
He's in there.
I don't know if it was down here or into there.
That's definitely in there, mate.
As they move on, the figure disappears completely. Thick plants and shadows make it impossible to tell where it went. The woods feel disorienting, with limited visibility and uneven ground messing with their senses. Joe suddenly feels cold and lightheaded, and both of them notice they're getting uncomfortable, likely from the cold, fatigue, and being in the damp forest too long.
I've got a proper weird shiver on them. I don't feel good.
Feel good?
I don't know, I feel a bit strange, you know.
You know, I feel a bit strange as well. This is so weird. Joe! You alright? Falling over. Joe. You alright?
That was...
What's the matter?
That was really
You just
weird.
passed out?
Yeah.
The moment doesn't last long, and he quickly comes around. Worried about his condition, the team decides right away to leave the woods and head back to a safer area.
Strange.
No.
Something just sort of came over me and I went.
You alright?
I don't know.
No.
That's a strange feeling. I've not had that before.
We thought you was joking.
No, I've passed out before, but that strange. I don't like it. That was a really strange sensation come over my whole body. I've not passed out like that before. I want to go.
We can go, mate. It's fine.
I don't like this.
It's fine. Just take it easy.
Did you not feel that? It felt really...
There was a feeling.
It was like a really cold spot, and then cold will come all over me.
You're right. Just take a breath.
I've not felt like that before.
Take a breath.
Afterward, they reflect on how fast the night shifted. What started as a calm walk turned physically draining because of the cold, darkness, and the environment. While the figure they saw remains unexplained, they admit that poor visibility and exhaustion can seriously affect perception. The experience reinforces how important it is to know your limits and walk away when needed, especially during night investigations in the woods. The story was shared by a YouTuber from the channel Cantrell Caving, known for pushing into some of the tightest and most unpredictable caves around. It's what he loves doing, but this time, it nearly cost him his life. On November 3rd, 2023, he and 4 others, including his close friend Jacob, went to explore a cave they'd never been in before. The idea was simple: follow the rope, make it to the end, and film the experience. But underground, things rarely go as planned.
Dudes, we're back with Matt again.
Yo.
We're exploring more of the ranch. We got this cave right here. He's got us out here. We're about to go explore it for him. Get the rest of us wetsuiting up. Let's get into it.
With headlamps on and boots laced, they headed inside, excited and unaware that the conditions underground were no longer the same.
Already an air dipper. A lot further.
Early in the descent, they were already dealing with rising water. The tight passages were partially flooded, making every move harder and more dangerous. The air was heavy, the rocks slick, and each step forward took them deeper into the cave and further into the unknown.
Last minute emergency source. This is as far as I can make it without.
Alright, well,
Is there room for one more down there? I mean, dude, hold up. Are you sure this is the way? It doesn't even look like you can go underwater. It's wide enough.
I mean, if there's a rope going in there,
yeah, this is the way.
That's the way. No, that's what the map shows, and there's a rope going in there.
You got room for one more, Edward?
I definitely want to go all the way to the end just so I can say I did.
Jacob, one of the others on the trip, had already gone ahead and tested the route. He warned them that parts of the passage were completely underwater and that you had to duck your head under just to get through, with no chance to breathe in some spots. Even so, the group kept moving, following the rope and hoping nothing would go wrong.
He's going upside down.
That's how you're supposed to do it, man.
Yeah. Really? That makes it easier? Yeah. Oh. I don't like it.
Which way did you go, Edward? Those Phoenix lights are doing pretty good in the water.
Is that what?
I would say my Phoenix lights are doing pretty good in the water. I'm going like in and out of being able to hear anything.
Snorkel would be nice right about now.
Yeah.
As the camera follows Cantrell deeper into the flooded tunnel, something shifts. His confidence starts to slip, his movements grow frantic, and the water rises high enough to fill his ears. The only way he can breathe is by tilting his head straight up toward the ceiling. The farther he crawls, the more unstable he becomes, until everything goes wrong.
Just barely hear right here.
So loud. The echo. Back it out, come on out. Holy crap! You okay? Man, you look like the sharpest guy.
Dude, you like shoved me over the water.
I'm sorry. Hey, my light's gone. I need some light.
Head bleeding, by the way.
Come on, you
what? My head's bleeding. Yeah, you're bleeding.
Yeah.
I am. Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah, I got slammed into the rock.
Yeah, no, he hit you.
Yeah, Alex, you good, man?
You hit your head back.
Oh, dude, you're
Yeah, let's
You can hear him?
You okay?
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, walk some of that off. You literally have.
Just breathe, man. It's not
Let me see. Yeah, man, you busted it. You busted it bad. Y'all both.
Dang,
You want to take this?
One of Cantrell's friends suddenly panicked. The cold, the water, and the tight space became too much. In a cave, panic is the worst thing. It messes with your thinking, drains your energy, and spreads fast. Clear judgment disappears, and that's exactly what you need to survive. Somehow through the chaos, they managed to keep their heads above water and slowly work their way back, inch by inch, toward the light. By the time they reached open space, Cantrell and his friend were scraped up, bruised, and completely drained. It could have ended much worse. They were lucky. Late in the fall, Sam from the YouTube channel Camping with Sam Bananas heads to Woodlawn Cemetery in Toledo, Ohio. His content centers on camping and low-key outdoor exploration. The cemetery, dating back to 1876, is one of the oldest in the city, with more than 65,000 graves and a local reputation for being haunted. Sam plans to camp there overnight anyway.
For the paranormal activity reported in this cemetery, there are countless sightings of a woman in white. Most accounts say that she wanders near the gates. Other accounts have said that she wanders throughout the gravestones. Still other accounts say that she spends time here at the Gunkel Memorial.
Currently under renovation, this memorial is a testament to the Gunkel family. John Gunkel was a mentor to many civic leaders in the Toledo area. He also helped establish the charitable organization known as the Old Newsboys Goodfellow Association.
Legend has it that she lost her daughter in a gruesome fashion and wanders the cemetery looking for her. Now, as far as I can tell, there really isn't a good way to camp near the gates. That's where most of the sightings of this ghostly woman have been reported. So I'm going to plant myself right over there next to the Gunkel Museum, directly in the spot where there have been some reports that she wanders the cemetery. Now, I am aware that some people may have a bit of a disagreement with camping out in the cemetery, and I understand why you would feel that way. I have a little bit of a different perspective. I would say that if you're someone who believes that there's an afterlife and that there is some sort of a presence here from those that have passed on, Don't you think they'd like some company? I think if I was buried in one of these sites and someone came to spend the night and spend time with me, I'd probably be kind of happy about it.
Beneath the calm atmosphere is over 100 years of history. He pauses at the Spitzer family mausoleum, explaining how they were powerful bankers who played a big role in shaping Toledo's financial scene.
Aware that members of the Titke family are buried in this cemetery. However, so far, this is the only grave where I can find them at. Titke's was, by all accounts, quite an epic grocery store and kind of just a spectacle of a department store. Now, the very, very early days of the Titke store actually started in 1894. But in terms of the modern shop and what it would become, that happened around 1910. That is when they moved on to Summit Street downtown. Their business was on the corner of Summit Street and the northeast corner of Adams, where it would stay for the next 6 decades. While their core business was food, they leased the upper floors of the building to sell furniture, housewares, clothing, and shoes. The brothers Titke also added a bakery, a deli, and restaurants. The concept was ahead of its time, a forerunner of what would be deemed one-stop shopping. Titke's closed for good in 1972. According to the information that I can find, this is the burial site of John, who is one of the heirs of the original family.
Nearby, Sam crosses a restricted bridge over Silver Lake, carefully getting around the barriers meant to keep cars out. As he heads deeper into the cemetery, he comes across the grave of John Titke, part of a family that once ran a large modern grocery business in Toledo. As night sets in, Sam brings up the cemetery's most famous story, the Lady in White. People say she wanders near the gates and the Gungle Memorial, searching for her lost child. Sam sets up his tent right near that area. After dark, he keeps his voice low, knowing security vehicles patrol the grounds. He cooks a simple meal as distant headlights pass by and deer move through the leaves nearby, keeping everything tense.
I am super whooped. I'm ready to hit the hay here. Anything crazy happens, I'll definitely let you know. Otherwise, we're going to be back at 'em bright and early, trying to get out of here before the sun comes up. Good night, everybody.
Just a little bit later in the day than I wanted to get up, but I think we'll be okay.
I'd like to have things be as fair as possible. There is an exit of the cemetery right here, right by where I was, and you can exit through this park, and I can get to the road out this way. But I think maybe it's a good idea to try to see if we can leave the same way we came.
Later on, Sam goes back out with his headlamp. The mausoleums feel overwhelming in the dark, and he mentions feeling like he's being watched. Even so, nothing strange actually happens. As temperatures drop, he packs up before sunrise and slips out of the cemetery on his electric bike. There's no obvious paranormal event, just the isolation, darkness, unfamiliar noises, and the fear of being discovered that make the night feel unsettling. On November 3rd, 2025, solo bushcrafter Faith Mary headed into a remote forest for what was supposed to be a routine survival trip. With minimal gear and no one else around, the plan was simple: build a shelter, cook some food, and spend the night alone. But as she worked, the forest slowly began to feel different around her.
And I'm leaning it up against the rock and making a teepee with my little logs. Let's light her up. All right. It's looking good, it's looking good. You guys see how it's in a teepee? That way the oxygen can get in there, really make that fire burn. Just check that out. Look at that. I'm like in some survival movie. Check that out. That is toasty. All right, you guys, I'm going to start cooking now. I'm Walter White. Go for laugh, no get. I'm gonna put some butter in first, and then we'll put some more butter in. I love butter. I have salt, garlic, pepper, onion powder, lemon, rosemary, mushrooms, and my steak. The steak was in, had an ice pack in here. Now it is good to go. So I will not get sick, thank goodness. Get just a little bit of butter.
After finishing the shelter, she moved on to cooking. At first, everything felt calm and routine. Then, in a single moment, that sense of control disappeared.
Yeah, this is the moment I knew that I majorly screwed up. Listen, I know you guys are probably thinking, Faith, how
how could you be so stupid? But I promise I really tried not to let this happen. The butter was off the pan for a while, and it was just one of those freak accidents. People can make fun all they want, but I wanted to post this because I don't want to be that fake, everything's perfect YouTuber. I want to be real with you guys, and the truth is, when you're out here doing bushcraft stuff, a lot of stuff can go wrong. So this is your personal official public service announcement. Wear safety goggles. I learned that the hard way. After this, I went straight to the ER. They told me that I have a corneal abrasion, and the next day it got even worse, so I had to go to a different hospital to get antibiotics, and now I still can't see really well out of my left eye. My skin is burned pretty bad too, but I will be okay. I'm grateful it wasn't worse, and I could have lost my vision or gotten burns all over my body. So if this makes even one of you more careful next time, then to me, it's worth posting this.
When Faith came back on camera, the trip was already done. Her face was burned, her vision was blurred, and one eye was seriously injured. Many people later said accidents like that can happen anywhere, but when it happens alone in the wild, a small mistake can turn into an emergency in seconds, showing how fragile normal really is when there's no one else. In late August 2024, Kenny from the YouTube channel All of Trades heads back to Pillsbury State Forest in central Minnesota with his dog, Toby. His channel is all about solo camping, RV life, and quiet weekends outside. A few weeks earlier, Toby had suddenly stopped on a forest road there, clearly spooked by something Kenny never saw. This time, Kenny goes back anyway. As the sun sets, the forest feels different than before.
Spent a couple hours this afternoon inside the camper working on the video. Turned the air conditioner on, nice and cool. But Toby and I are gonna go out for a little walk now. Hopefully we can find some firewood. That's the plan anyways. I did bring a leash with just in case if we come across anybody on horseback out here. You can see a number of horse tracks. This forest has a lot of rolling hills. If you can get up on top of the hill, then the wind is keeping all of the mosquitoes away. The hard problem is when you get down into the dips and the bugs get thick.
After work, Kenny grabs some supplies and fire starters, knowing he's getting there late. By the time he reaches the forest, it's already getting dark. He sets up camp on higher ground that used to be an overlook, but is now overgrown. Instead of a view, he finds trash, including a Walgreens receipt that shows someone was there recently. Later, Kenny and Toby take a walk down a narrow trail that leads to a squatter camp, blankets, an old shovel, and scattered belongings. One bottle with an August 2024 expiration date stands out. Kenny explains that since the forest is close to town, people sometimes stay there over the summer after losing their housing.
There wasn't much I could do at the time. I picked up as much as I could. I went back out there a few months ago, found that the whole thing is closed off to the public now. It's so sad. I came across the trail that's got to be relatively new. It wasn't here a couple of years ago. Figured we'd go figure out where it goes.
The area feels heavy and neglected, so Kenny doesn't go any farther. That night, he makes beef stew and sticks to his routine while the forest stays quiet. Before leaving the next day, he checks the spot where Toby had refused to walk before and finds it trashed again. It doesn't feel forgotten. Something is still going on. Weeks ago, Toby wouldn't walk the trail, and now the reason is clear. The forest didn't change. What was left behind did. On September 23rd, 2025, Real Coastal posts a video of an offshore kayak fishing trip near Navarre in Florida's Panhandle. It's only Julie's second time paddling that far out, and she admits right away that she's nervous.
A little nervous. It's only second time out in the Gulf. The first time was epic. I hope this one will be just as awesome. Oh!
Yep, I'm on. We're both hooked up? Mine's coming up fast though. Come here, dude. All right, first fish of the day. Can't say morning. Spanish on the yak. He's just a baby though. There we go. All right. Okay, we're both got the fish vibes going on. Now we need the good ones. Oh, I'm on. Stay on there. Split me in half. Still on.
That was so good.
Maybe it was the king. Yeah.
We're gonna go deeper, trying to find the bigger fish.
You guys, look how beautiful that fish is. Oh, he's playing right to you, Colin.
That's a good one.
Colin, we did it! That's awesome.
I'm hooking up another cigar minnow But I didn't want to tell you guys what rod I'm using. This is, I'll just show it to you.
After landing her first king mackerel, she takes a moment to show the gear she's using. A Penn Alley 2 rod with a Penn Slammer 5500. Out there, trusting the gear really matters.
That's funny. Calm down, calm down. Oh, they're slimy guys, too.
Ate my cigar minnow. Put them back in the water.
Oh my goodness, it's another giant remora. Even bigger than the last. Oh God, he's like, if you let me.
Now what?
The mood suddenly shifts when Julie hooks 2 massive remoras, thick, slimy, and totally unwanted, clinging stubbornly to the bait and killing the excitement. Remoras usually stick to bigger creatures, which is a quiet warning that something large could be nearby. While Julie is distracted trying to deal with one of them, everything breaks loose at once as Colin's reel suddenly starts screaming.
Big mahi on, guys. Oh my God!
Oh my gosh, Colin! He's got a giant mahi. It's jumping like crazy.
Dude, I saw something under my kayak. I was like, what is that? I tossed my cigar minnow. It went right after it and ate it. Come on. Please, please, please.
Colin! That's so awesome! Oh.
A big mahi-mahi explodes out of the water next to his kayak, thrashing and flashing color everywhere. The tension shoots up instantly. This is the kind of fish that can turn the whole day around.
Oh, Colin! Yay, Colin!
Oh no! Oh no! Colin! He's gone.
I know. It's on camera. It was a catch. I love the picture of you with that fish though. Colin. That was freaking amazing. Sorry.
I wonder if I should have just put him straight in my bag.
Alright, it's still a catch though. I say it is.
I'm gonna be sick, man. I was literally just sitting down waiting for you, and I looked down, and I thought it was like a rooster fish. It was white with stripes, but then I knew instantly. Oh,
that was really cool.
I'm really upset.
Colin gets the gaff in and pulls the mahi into the kayak, and for a split second, it's right there, close enough to touch. Then it goes wild. He loses control, and the fish launches itself back into the Gulf, gone in an instant. The rush drops into silence, and Colin's clearly crushed, blaming himself for losing it. Julie tries to calm him down, reminding him it was still an amazing fight, but the sting doesn't fade. The mahi was estimated at around 15 pounds, big enough to feel like a blown finish. Later, viewers pointed out that remoras often mean bigger predators are nearby, and in a kayak, once a powerful fish gets into the cockpit, things can go wrong fast. One hard thrash is all it takes. On October 30th, 2023, the YouTube channel Travel Beans, known for van life and slow family travel, starts looking for a place to wild camp. Nothing is obviously wrong, but there's a quiet tension that slowly creeps in. After visiting some of Scotland's well-known landmarks, the trip subtly changes, and sightseeing turns into the search for a spot to camp for the night.
In Scotland, first time with Noah in Scotland.
I'm already not feeling welcome here in Scotland. It's like they've turned the temperature down the second you get in here.
As it was late, we decided to stop at a service station along the route for the night.
First night done, and we felt very welcomed here in Scotland, mainly because we had to pay £10 for the privilege of doing so.
But we had probably the best showers that we've ever had in a service station. We don't think it's that big a deal that we feel welcome at a service station because obviously they have money to make. The real test is going to be how welcome are we going to be out in the beautiful Scottish countryside. Let's go. to Loch Lomond. The plan is to wild camp tonight, so we are on the lookout for a really great park up spot.
We use the app Park for Night, and I'm filtering it by places that are surrounded by nature, and we've got this one here right next to a loch, but also it is right next to the main road. It's very, very loud.
Yeah, it's pretty though. Unfortunately, I think this one is going to be a no because it is too close to the road, and we have had a bad experience with this in the past.
We headed further away from civilization in search of the perfect spot.
Look at this place!
Oh, wow! Oh, Scotland, you beauty.
We have found our spot for the night. We always say on this channel the camera never does justice to what we're seeing, and this is another example of that.
They come across several great-looking spots that seem easy and inviting, but they feel too exposed. The idea of locals honking in the middle of the night is enough to make them keep going. Pushing deeper into quieter areas, they finally find a secluded parking spot by the water.
Always going to be people letting the side down. We've got a fire pit, which I'm not sure if that's strictly legal or not, but what I do have an opinion about is leaving it there.
So let's have a chat. Why do we not feel welcome in Scotland? This is the only place that purposefully we have been woken up by locals beeping at us.
Which is why we try and find places off the main road. A lot of locals do not like camper vans for reasons like the poop that's outside.
At the end of the day, the problem is that there are bad eggs letting the side down for the rest of us. There have been reports of things like littering, parking in the passing places, emptying grey waste on the side of the road, sleeping in inappropriate places like graveyards, ignoring no sleeping signs, and just being generally bad drivers. I think that, along with the growing popularity of things, has just been the perfect cocktail to create so much havoc that the locals just end up hating all of us.
We gave an interview a couple of years ago with a newspaper explaining about the NC 500 and why the locals don't like it. There is kind of an infamous Facebook group where the locals basically just hate on all van lifers that come through the area. They posted about us and came at us.
It is particularly upsetting when we make such an effort to leave no trace, to be as respectful as possible.
We also completely understand why people would be so upset with these kind of horrific behaviors like we listed before, but it really is a few bad eggs. But as a community, I don't think the majority should necessarily ignore the minority in this, and like, it is a real issue what is going on.
At the spot, they notice what others have left behind: trash, paper, even human waste. The place is still beautiful, but clearly damaged. It makes the local frustration easier to understand. They talk about the anger toward van travelers and remember being insulted in a local Facebook group where everyone was lumped together. By morning, they move on. Nothing actually happens, but the feeling sticks. The fear isn't about one moment, it's about the result of repeated disrespect and how it can turn even beautiful places into quiet warnings. In August 2025, while sailing in French Polynesia, the family behind Sailing Nahua dropped an episode that felt very different from their usual content. Their channel is normally all about ocean life, long voyages, and stunning remote places, but this time the mood shifted. Something about the sea just felt off.
Year, approximately 700 sailboats make their way from Panama to French Polynesia. That's 20, 30, sometimes 40 plus days that these sailboats and crew undertake to get here. Why would they do that? Well, it's absolutely stunning, as you can see above water, but below water is just as incredible. There's also world-class kiting, diving, and surfing here in French Polynesia. But something happened this year that is a little odd. 5 boats lost, all in the month of May. Were these all freak accidents, or is something else going on beneath the surface?
In waters that were always thought to be safe, 5 sailboats suddenly went down in just 1 month. No storms, no wild conditions, just calm seas, and a really unsettling pattern. Every year, yachts make the crossing from Panama to French Polynesia, and for a long time, none were lost offshore. That changed in May 2025, when 5 separate distress calls came in within weeks. One of them was Luna Bay 2, which sank after hitting a floating object. Thankfully, everyone made it out alive, thanks to quick action from French rescue teams.
So a lot of people actually don't like sailing at night, and We don't either, especially near land. We hate sailing near land, but with all of our previous tracks, we're pretty okay with this little exit here. You're up, Ashley.
So 2 nights to Tahiti, but I'm sad to be saying goodbye to the 2 mountains.
Give your phone for satellite imagery. It's kind of dark now.
Did I say that? My birthday was totally awesome out here, but no.
How many maps do we have up?
4 maps up. We have our open CPN with our tens of tracks of getting in and out of here at all times of day and night. We have our Navionics, which actually still has our track from the last time we entered here. And we have the Orca tablet and Orca satellite imagery on this one. And then I always double check everything with my Google Maps. And if Google Maps has clouds, then I go to Apple Maps and so on and so forth. So we have eyes in the sky, guys.
There is not one single charting application we trust. Not Navionics, not satellite imagery, not any single map. I think that's a good thing. I think it's good to not put all your trust all on one chart. So that's why we have so many different systems, and we will always have so many different systems with both different charts, different GPS systems, different devices, whether that's pads, laptops, built-in things like Raymarine. So I'm just out here right now spotting. There's not much I can do once I see something to change course, but I think we should be turning now.
It's 4 a.m. What's happening?
One of the hose clamps on the freshwater system blew. So our engine room filled up with water. I didn't notice till the bilge pump started going off.
What day is it? Is it your birthday too?
Oh, it's my birthday too. I had a bunch of water in it, so I'm gonna drill a couple holes to let the water out. The thing is, there's not a lot of salt spray up here, so you don't have to worry about salt getting in there, and if it does get in, it'll drain out the bottom. But this is the view. We have basically moored right next to this big street. That's one of the main roads here in Tahiti. Pretty good marina. And these are the mega yachts. Hey, I'm higher than the mega yacht. That's cool. We're up there cleaning. Over there in the distance is Moria right there. That's the port. That's the port of Tahiti way. Hey, Ashley, can you turn on the nav light? Let's see if this thing works. Oh, we got a red, we got a green, and we got a white. Okay, can you flip that off and turn on the anchor light? Yeah, anchor light works. Okay, cool. Okay, we're up and running. I can come back down. Just a little bit first because I gotta switch my thing again. So it is 6 p.m. right now here in Tahiti, and there's been a tsunami warning issued for much of the Pacific. They're taking it pretty seriously in Hawaii. They're evacuating hotels on Kona, the big island. I don't know what to do. We're gonna be about 4 hours behind Tahiti in terms of waves striking here. It's only supposed to be 30 centimeter waves, but they said expect up to 2 to 3 meters, maybe more, which in this marina would not look good because the way it would work is the dock would just ride up over top of this pylon, and then you'd have mass carnage. Hopefully that doesn't happen. At the same time, how much do you trust that the forecast is correct and that local geography underwater doesn't influence the size of the wave here compared to, I don't know, say.
As Nahoa headed toward Tahiti, every chart and system stayed on, even though the ocean looked calm. Debris was everywhere, from logs and loose wood to an overturned kayak. Out there, it only takes one hit. In Luna Bay 2's case, a failed sail drive didn't let water seep in slowly. It came rushing in fast. Once docked in Tahiti, the focus shifted to safety, fixing navigation lights, checking fire extinguishers, and sending the life raft out for recertification. Then, a tsunami warning hit. The surge never really came, but the preparation did, and with it, the realization that even harbors aren't a sure thing. Officials said the area isn't unusually dangerous. May just brings more boats, more debris, whale season, and higher risk. A rare spike, but a clear reminder of how exposed life at sea really is. In early December, Luke from Outdoor Gear Review hikes up a windy mountain for a solo overnight. What's calmed down low turns rough at the top with strong gusts, dropping temps, and a storm coming after dark. As the light fades, he sets up a basic shelter to handle the night. At the summit, the wind cuts through the trees. He rigs a half-leaned tarp angled against the gusts and ready to adjust when rain starts. He briefly explains his 70-liter pack and how careful gear choices make it work. Before dark, he clears leaves from the ground to avoid bugs. Once night hits, he cooks reindeer stew and shares a couple of stories. One about a strange complaint email and another about an abandoned campsite where gear was left behind but no one was found.
The other day, I received an email from a viewer asking me if I had seen this channel, and I don't remember the name of it. I wouldn't even mention it if I did. It's so stupid. But the YouTube channel is all about like this person going camping or something. Every single trip ends with the tent catching on fire and everything inside of it being destroyed, and he acts like it was an accident sort of thing. That is like low-level content. It's pretty wild what people will do for money. Not that there's anything wrong with it outside of it just being wasteful. Possibly stupid, but years ago, YouTube used to be a wasteland. Anything went. I don't know if that's the case anymore. I don't think so. But people would do all sorts of weird stuff, like eat out of their cat's litter box, if you know what I'm saying. Seriously. I'm pretty sure that's been put a stop to, for good reason. Unfortunately, the winds are beginning to pick back up again, so I will not be feeding this fire anymore. I certainly don't want a hot ember to fly off into the woods, start a fire and whatnot. The ground underneath is wet, but everything on top is very dry, so we better be careful, especially when there's a known fire burning out there. Speaking of which, I took a look. I can't see anything burning, but I definitely saw the smoke earlier. That smoke created one of the most beautiful sunsets I have ever seen. Absolutely incredible.
Around 9:30 p.m., the storm moves in, rain settles in, the wind ramps up, and the forest goes still. Morning arrived in thick fog, but the shelter did its job, and everything stayed dry. While packing up, Luke spots a forest mouse that chewed into his food bag, attracted by a small mistake from the night before. Nothing serious happens, but it shows how even minor slip-ups can matter. On June 26, 2025, Fuzzy Dog Productions uploaded what appeared to be another upbeat travel vlog, filled with jokes, their dogs, and a lighthearted soundtrack, documenting a camping trip intended to be relaxing. They were headed to Sweetwater Campground in Brewster, Massachusetts. What began as a last-minute evening drive soon turned into something less straightforward. They left around 7 p.m., planning to arrive late and wake up in the woods. But reaching the site after dark was harder than expected. Narrow roads, confusing signs, and a wrong turn led them through the wrong campground loop before they finally found their spot. After wandering unfamiliar paths and sorting out the mix-up, they eventually settled in and relaxed.
Coming in here was no joke. The roads were really narrow. The signage is pretty poor, especially at night. I mean, that's kind of our choice though. I mean, we found it, but we had to do this huge loop through the C section where we were supposed to be in the A section, and the A section was just honestly a quick left that we missed. So user error as always. I mean, what are you gonna do? But we're here, we made it, started a fire, gonna chill out. So we really drove 2.5, almost 3 hours to find lobster rolls. And that's what we're going after. We're looking forward to it tomorrow.
Around 5 a.m., while they were still asleep, someone had entered their campsite and gone through their stuff. At first, it was easy to miss. Things just didn't feel quite right. Then they realized all their expensive alcohol was gone, replaced with cheap brands they didn't recognize.
You might have taken more, I don't know.
Wow.
That's crazy. We got robbed.
Why didn't you take the Andy's mac and cheese? Was this there? Is this the Green thing? I bet it is, right? Morning. We had a guy walk through here probably about 5 in the morning. The dog was starting to bark. We don't know how long he was here, and he stole all our booze. Literally went through the back of Luna, took the Drambuie for the recommended drink, and just kept walking. Wow, lesson learned. Not only did he take our good stuff, he left us stuff. We're definitely a little shocked that this guy went through all of our stuff. This lady here, Mrs. Fuzzy Dog, she's just pissed. Rightfully so.
There was no damage, no mess, and nothing else missing. The fact that they brought replacements makes it feel planned. Their dog had barked earlier, but it didn't seem important at the time. Looking back, it probably was the only warning. Still shaken, they went on with their day. They explored the area, grabbed food, and walked their dogs along nearby trails. Things felt mostly normal again, even though the incident stayed in the back of their minds.
We are leaving this place. This place is beautiful. It's huge. It's heavily wooded, so we feel like we're in the woods. It's really exciting, especially after the morning. But we're going to forget about that morning. We're going to go get lobster rolls. We're going to go get booze. I don't know. We're going to go find the adventure. These dogs for a long walk, probably at one of the state parks out here on the Cape. Let's go. We are still on the elusive hunt to try to get or restock our booze for the recommended drink.
They had neither. He, at least the first place used to have it. This guy didn't. He was like, no, we don't.
Why go through the trouble of swapping the bottles instead of just stealing them? And what if someone had woken up while it was happening? That night, the couple stayed inside their camper. With their usual drinks off the table, they worked with what they had left. Was it a prank, a weird habit, or something more disturbing? What do you think really happened? The video comes from Paranormal Visitors, a UK channel that takes a calm, observational approach to exploring historic sites. They focus on being respectful and letting viewers decide what to make of what's captured without dramatizing anything. This investigation was filmed on December 26, 2025 at St. Lawrence's Churchyard in Scalby, UK.
Right, people, we're at Scalby Church. I'll just pan you round. Well, hello. How are we doing? You all right? You'll see the entrance to a church just behind me. There you go. Pick anything up. But me and Mick, on the way in, we've come through, like we said, the new part, and we dropped down to the old part. Now, when we dropped into the old part, round about where the church area is, with what's his name, me and Mick have picked something up, and Mick picked something up as well, but it was at the side of a little bit of a stream come river where we got out of the vehicle, so we don't know if it's the actual stream, the actual energy, or a ley line, but he has actually marked it down to follow it up. But I'm not picking anything up as such, but it's a nice place indeed. It's really well looked after by the looks of things. So there's H just over there. Just reaching
on a video, but obviously with this being a site of burial of members of the war, obviously similarly down in Kayak Chase, the cemetery, where again there's been werewolf sightings. So it does seem to be a pattern almost of where these canid creatures are actually sighted.
Well, it's like they've seen around waterworks, haven't they?
Exactly, and there's a little...
Dane's Dark, there's a waterworks.
Exactly. There's definitely bits that we should be able to pick up on and possibly even map out to see where reports of are coming from. Yeah. It's a very still atmosphere tonight, though.
The investigators enter St. Lawrence's Churchyard and slowly scan the entrance and surrounding area. They explain they've moved from the newer section into the older part near a small stream. The space is quiet and well kept, with old gravestones, including war burials. As they walk farther in, both notice the area feels different from the road nearby. One mentions a brief sensation near his head, while Mick separately says the space feels heavier and more closed in. Everything stays calm as they quietly set up basic equipment like EMF meters and continue observing.
We're coming in on the road. I felt something there, like at the corner of my head, which I've never felt before. And then Mick picked something heavy up straight away, not long after, further down the road. Just tell me if you feel anything.
Yes, I can actually.
There you go. There you go. You see, that's why I asked Mick to back me up then. I knew I'd felt something.
And for some reason, this is in the back. My ear is beginning to ring.
As they go deeper, one of them suddenly gets a ringing in his ear and asks Mick to stand close for reassurance. Mick says he's feeling off in the same area too. They stop for a moment with the EMF still on, watching shadows and light shift from the trees, headlamps, and uneven ground.
Pull. That was funny. Feeling then, I felt like I thought you were outside of me up there.
Oh, really?
But there was nobody there.
What do you feel?
Somebody outside of me. I turned around and went out.
Yeah.
But I managed to imagine it because it was on my own. I don't know what if it was. I thought you was right behind me. That's what it's like. But I just said there then. I thought Ireland was behind me, and when I've looked, there was nobody there.
Did you hear somebody shout or something? Or?
Did you hear that shout?
Yeah, but I think it's over here.
All right.
So yeah, that's where we had it coming from, somewhere over there.
But when I went past there, that top grave there, walking in, I thought Ireland was behind me. But when I looked, there was nobody there.
Right.
But it might have just been me that. But there is. It's funny you said that, Mick, that something's coming and going.
Both of them feel like someone is behind them, but when they turn around, the area is empty. A distant sound carries across the churchyard, likely due to the open space. The experience is defined by sensations rather than visuals, including ear ringing, light pressure, and heightened awareness, which they acknowledge could have natural causes. The EMF shows brief activity with no clear explanation. They end the session calmly as the area returns to silence. Meet Jeremy, the creator behind the YouTube channel Exploring with Nug. His videos usually focus on exploring interesting, sometimes forgotten places, but this time was different. He joined an active search for a missing hiker in the dangerous North Georgia mountains, not realizing how serious things would become. The video starts with Jeremy on top of Blood Mountain as the sun sets and rain rolls in. He explains that Charles Hoche, a 67-year-old retired professor, had gone missing on the trail just days earlier, setting a heavy and urgent tone right away.
Charles Hoche, 67, was a retired law professor and a man comfortable in the outdoors. On November 11, 2025, he set out on the Byron Herbert Reese Trail toward Blood Mountain. A fellow hiker saw him descending around 1:30 p.m., assuming he had reached the summit and was making his way back down. But somewhere along that descent, ridges and hidden paths. Charles knew these woods well, but even experience cannot always prevent the unexpected. Today, I step into the forest, joining those who refuse to stop searching. Every trail, every ridge, every hidden path matters. Every moment could bring him home. The mission is simple, yet urgent.
Jeremy makes it clear he's not there for views. He's there to help, just another set of eyes in a big search effort. As he hikes up the mountain, the weight of the situation really sinks in. He talks about how steep and rough the terrain is, and how different it feels compared to when he was there at night before. He also has a short but emotional encounter with the missing man's daughter, which clearly pushes him to do whatever he can to help.
Hi, Julia. I actually talked to you online on Facebook.
Hi.
I know you've been very busy, so I didn't expect you to get back to me, but
Nice to meet you.
I was the one to ask you questions about that drop-off. I run that YouTube page, Exploring with Nug. That lady was actually the daughter of the missing gentleman out here, which is not surprising. I'm just kind of surprised I ran into him on all these trails, but he was last spotted coming down this very trail and somehow vanished.
Knowing the missing man had come down this same trail and somehow vanished makes it feel more real, and it really drives home the human side of the tragedy. With the main paths already being heavily searched, Jeremy decides to take a risk and go off trail. He believes the hiker may have slipped and fallen somewhere between the winding routes. Pushing through thick brush and slick moss-covered rocks, he knows one wrong step could put him in the same danger he's out there trying to help with.
All right, so here's my plan. You can see the trail. You can see I'm right here. I'm going this way up. Oops. So what I want to do is I'm going to go off trail right here, which is that way. And I'm going to work my way along the ravine and see if I can find the trail again as I go. If not, I'll just turn around and come right back. Alright, so I've made my way to this spot where the only way to get through it is to crawl. So I guess that's what I'm going to do. Kind of looks like there's already somebody been here. I'd hate to be going over somebody's footsteps, but I don't know what's going on, so I'm just going to assume that I'm just clearing spots like they are. I don't know what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm going to crawl through here, and hopefully it opens up so I don't have to crawl for too long. Need a machete. Crawling in the woods, they say. It'll be fun. This is a workout, to say the least.
The climb turns into a brutal workout, with Jeremy crawling through thick brush and carefully planning every move on steep, dangerous slopes. After the tough off-trail push, he reaches the summit and the historic Blood Mountain shelter. He takes a moment to take in the incredible views, but it doesn't last long. A dense fog quickly rolls in, wiping out the view and signaling a heavy storm moving in.
I guess safe to say we reached the top. Blood Mountain Shelter, Chattahoochee National Forest. Well, what I'm looking at right now is kind of what reminds me of that movie. Check this out. There's supposed to be mountains over there and hills, right? And stuff like that. But as you can see, whatever that is just quickly is heading right towards me. So, and it's just rapidly deteriorating up here. I don't necessarily want to sleep in a hammock in the pouring cold rain. So what I think I'm gonna do is kind of pause this and get off this mountain before the storm hits.
When the weather starts going bad, way faster than expected, he drops the plan to camp and heads down before it gets dark and stormy. On the way, he runs into a young couple who clearly aren't ready for the conditions, warns them, and sticks with them instead of leaving. In the dark, they briefly lose the trail and start heading down a steep, slippery rock face before he realizes the mistake and gets them back on track. That moment hits hard, showing how easily one wrong step in the dark could explain what happened to Charles Hosh. They all make it down safely, but the mystery remains. Real Investigation. Paranormal is a UK-based channel that focuses on unscripted paranormal investigations. Their videos rely on real-time reactions, long stretches in isolated locations, and staying aware of the environment, letting tension build naturally without anything staged. This episode takes place on December 12th, 2025 in England.
I don't know. Did you hear that? Literally just here, dark from where I'm pointing here.
The investigation starts in thick woodland with bad weather, heavy wind, and rain, making it hard to see. Almost as soon as they enter, the team becomes alert to strange sounds and movement nearby. One hears something like a faint whisper, while another notices quick movement between the trees as the weather gets worse. Before they've even gone far, the forest already feels tense and unpredictable.
You are joking, why is the light?
I don't know.
That's not a good sign.
I could always put the power bank into it, but I don't know if we should have the power bank charging while it's on.
Probably not. Have we got enough light?
Yeah, you can see on the video still.
Have you?
Quite well, I'd say.
Let's have a look. So say hi, James.
Hi.
Yep, we're here, and let's go into these deep in woods.
Yeah, I'm just hoping we find something before it finds us.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
That would be terrifying.
And you're saying these things as I'm walking, and it's literally terrifying. So, yeah.
Yeah, right now we're on a path. It's extremely windy and rainy.
And yeah,
dark.
It's very windy and rainy for all of a sudden. If something comes running down here, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump into that field, that's what I'll do.
That's like the worst part to be in.
Actually, you're not wrong, because it's an open space.
Have we been to this part?
No, we have never been here before, so this is why I don't know where I'm going.
Okay. Oh, lights died already.
You are joking, why? Is already a sign of activity.
As they move deeper along unfamiliar paths, their lights start flickering and cutting out. They keep stopping to check their equipment, unsure if it's the weather, dying batteries, or something else. At the same time, wind, branches, and distant movement blend, making it hard to tell what's actually happening around them.
Kind of behavior, to be fair.
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I think so.
That's crazy.
But already we're hearing and seeing a lot of stuff.
Is there anything wishing to make communications? I just saw a black shadow, you know, just here.
Seriously?
Literally just here, dark from where I'm pointing here to there. Oh, wait, I just heard like a distant cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, like from really far away kind of thing.
Yeah.
One of the investigators says they saw a dark shape move between the trees. Not long after, a distant sound echoes through the woods. They can't pinpoint where it came from and admit it could just be the environment or wildlife.
Catch us. You hear that?
I did. That is like literally horrifying.
A sudden loud noise makes both investigators stop in their tracks. With the wind and rain distorting everything, they can't tell where the sound came from or how close it was.
Oh, what?
Like a...
Somebody stood there.
Yeah, humanoid figure.
Hello?
As they reach a more open spot near restricted land, both investigators spot a tall shape standing in the distance. It stays there briefly, then vanishes from view.
Stood in the fields, like you could see an outline of a humanoid figure. We tried to have a look further, but we couldn't see it again, but it was like pretty tall. I'd say it stood about 8.5, 9 foot tall, and that's pretty large. And maybe in a field you could have a scarecrow, but it didn't look like a scarecrow to me, I'll be honest. Well, not your conventional scarecrow.
Especially
so that is quite
since it disappeared quite
rapid.
Quite fast.
Right, okay.
After leaving the woods, they talk more about what they saw, estimating its height using nearby landmarks. They admit poor visibility and fatigue could have affected what they perceived, but agree the moment felt strange and hard to explain.
Probably be able to hear it better on the camera.
Yeah, we will for sure. The bit that would kind of confuse me, I'm going to go this way, you know. The bit that, confused me a little bit was what that man was doing, going into that woods on his own. Like, it's almost as if he was rushing to get in there.
More distant sounds start coming through as the weather keeps getting worse. With gear still acting up and how isolated the area is, they decide to call it early and play it safe. Looking back, they talk about how fast everything escalated once the weather, darkness, and terrain stacked against them. Between the equipment issues, strange movement, and unclear sounds, the tension stayed high the whole time. Whatever the cause, the night was a reminder of knowing when to step back. It ends without any real answers. The footage was recorded on May 22, 2023 by Alex, a long-haul truck driver behind the YouTube channel Alex Nino. His content focuses on real-life trucking, overnight runs, and sleeping on the road. What starts as a normal shift quickly turns uneasy, with mechanical stress, tight deliveries, and no real time to unwind.
Boss, do you guys have def?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, perfect, man. My truck was about to turn off on me, so I parked right there. Put the def at my pickup, at my delivery right now, but I don't know why or what went through me that I forgot to check the def. And the def is pretty much diesel exhaust fluid. If the truck runs out of it, you're done. Your truck will turn off. It's like you pretty much ran out of gas in your car. I was gonna make this delivery and then go put the def before my truck turns off on me. I go to this location right here. Man, after this delivery, I have to cross the Bay Bridge. If this truck turns off on me on the Bay Bridge, I'm screwed. Just stupid cars next to me. All right, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna break it a bunch like this. That way my trailer goes all the way to that door right there. Go up. See how my trailer door is right there? My trailer's right there. Watch this. Get it super close to that right there. Bada boom, bada boom. Your boy is in the building. Oh man, I'm all messed up right now. I have a pallet that's a single pallet right here. That's literally right at the door with no load lock, not secured, because I didn't have my load lock in the trailer. So what I'm gonna have to do right now is open this really carefully and hope that pallet did not tilt over. Woo! No, the only thing that I'm scared about is backing this thing in, because if I'm reversing, it can go like this. So I'm gonna see if they have a load lock or something, or you know what? I'm gonna leave this closed, get as close as I can to the door, and then once I get super close, I'll just get out again, open it, and bam, I'm good. I should be good like that. There should be good. Any closer, I won't be able to. I don't want this pallet to come, like as soon as I hit right here, or me reversing or anything, for it to go, just because I'm gonna go ask them if they have a load lock. Hi, I had 3 pallets for you. Do you think by any chance I'd be able to use the load lock just so I can put the load lock right here so I can reverse in? You see one? It's locked? You get what I mean? If I hit it hard right here, it could just all come crashing down.
It should be okay. Those are pretty sturdy.
I'll try it.
It should be okay.
Alright, let's go put some deaf boys before my truck turns off. Let's go, little deafy. Ugh.
There's a single pallet sitting loose at the trailer door with no load lock, and Alex can't find the right equipment to secure it. He backs in carefully, knowing one wrong move could send it crashing down. After that, the night finally slows down. Back in his truck, basically his second home, he sets up his Blue Eddy power station and relaxes for a bit, thinking the worst is behind him. But while parked in a quiet residential area to sleep, he spots a man outside the truck, close enough to try the door. Luckily, it's locked.
There's literally someone right there, bro. Oh my. Alright guys, screw that. I'm just decided I was actually gonna leave. I seen him take off. There's no way in how I'm staying there. Thankfully, I locked my doors. There's times where I go to bed with the doors not locked. Damn, that was a close one.
Alex doesn't hesitate. He starts the truck and drives off right away. Later, he admits there were times he didn't always lock the doors, and this time being careful may have saved him. The video never explains who the man was or what he wanted. It could have been an attempted theft or something else entirely. What makes it unsettling isn't what happened, but what could have. On September 6th, 2023, the solo van lifer behind the YouTube channel, Nomadic Introvert, wrapped up her day during Labor Day in a quiet, mostly empty parking lot. Her channel focuses on calm, minimalist van life and tight personal routines, so the night felt normal and under control until the silence, isolation, and one brief lapse in attention made the van feel suddenly unsafe.
On this empty parking lot, nobody was here. It was in a pretty populated area, so I didn't think nothing of it when I parked. So I prepared to take a nap. I cracked the window to get that nice little breeze, and I left my curtains open so that I can see out of my front windshield in the event that I feel like something is up. While I was laying there, something told me to get up. It wasn't because I heard a noise or anything, it was just like a gut feeling, like, get up. Look outside.
Inside the van, she was getting ready to sleep, thinking the day was done. Then, an uneasy feeling hit out of nowhere, strong enough to make her sit up. Nothing obvious was wrong, just the sense that something outside didn't feel safe anymore. The feeling came first. The danger followed soon after.
When I looked outside, I saw a white male approaching my van, headed straight towards my passenger side, and proceeded to walk around the back of my van and towards the driver's side door. And as he slowly approached the driver's side door, I hopped back, I shut the side window, I locked the additional driver's side lock just in time.
No sooner after I locked it, he grabbed the driver's side handle and began to violently shake it, trying to open my...
A man was walking straight toward it, focused, not just passing by. As he reached the door, she reacted on instinct and locked it just in time. His hand grabbed the handle and yanked it hard, testing the only thing between them.
After I locked the interior lock, he grabbed the handle and started to try to open my door. Now, were my doors locked? I can't tell you, fam. That's the first mistake. I always lock my door when I park, whether I'm in a place where I know the area or whether I'm in a place where I don't know the area. The first thing I do when I cut my engine is lock the door. What happened was when he was shaking the handle, when I ran up to lock the additional interior lock, I looked at my dashboard and I didn't see that red light blinking, which indicated to me that all the doors were locked. I remember after locking that additional locking, backing up. As I was backing up, I looked at the dashboard and I did not see that red light flashing, which means I don't think I locked the doors. When I didn't see that red light flashing, I wasn't sure. So I backed up to look for my key. I went to this table right here. It was closed and I was like, crap, because that's where I normally put my key. I always put my key there, with the exception of that day, me breaking character. That's the second time I broke character. The first time I broke character is when I didn't see that red light flashing on the dashboard, which indicates all the doors were locked. So I know for a fact I didn't hit that lock button. So I'm looking. It took about 8 seconds. Throwing stuff. I found the key on top of the green container. And the only reason why I couldn't see it because my Yeti strap was covering it and I had threw this top on top of the key. So when I grabbed the key, as I jumped in the front seat, he was still shaking the door handle trying to get in. Before I sat down, it was like one motion. I jumped, put the key in ignition, turned it, and sat down. Once I cranked up my van, he stopped shaking my driver's side handle, which means he didn't know I was in here, which blows my mind. How do you not know I'm not in here? When you were coming up on this side window, I slammed it shut. You didn't hear?
When the man stepped away, the fear didn't fade, it intensified. It became clear how close the situation really was. Breaking her routine earlier may have left the door unsecured, and a delay of just seconds could have changed everything. She was shaken but unharmed, and later shared the lesson that defined the night. Isolation removes second chances, and routine is often the only protection. The video comes from Lost in Wonder, a van life and travel channel that follows solo adventures, stealth camping, and day-to-day life on the road. The content highlights planning, staying flexible, and being discreet in public or semi-public areas. It takes place on December 22nd, 2025, near a Christmas tree farm and a secondary stealth camping spot with a city overlook.
To always have a backup plan. So yeah, I'm not doing my Christmas dinner at a Christmas tree lot. That was pretty ambitious, I have to say, and this is my second time attempting. But we can still make a beautiful dinner. I have all my ingredients. We're gonna find another little stealth place to park and cook our feast. This is the new spot for the night. I have been here before and I have successfully slept here before, so hopefully it's going to work for tonight.
The vlogger moves to a backup overnight spot overlooking the city. During the drive, a few loose items slide around in the van, adding some stress. Once parked, they quickly tidy up, put the window covers back in place, and check outside to make sure the van blends in.
I think here we're pretty safe. Like I said, I've stayed here before. If I get busted while cooking, then yeah, I mean, it's a risk you're taking, right? All right, we are all settled in. I think we're good. Should I start cooking? Oh my gosh, I am starving, guys, because I was already supposed to have eaten. Oh my gosh, guys. Can a girl have some peace and quiet to cook her dinner? Anyways, what I was saying is that if you have like a good like stove and proper like pots and pans and a fridge, makes it so much easier for you to actually cook, and it makes it being on the road so much cheaper. If while you're on the road, you're eating out all the time, that gets so expensive and so unhealthy as well. So if you have proper equipment for cooking, it's a game changer. So we've got some salami, some spreadable cheese, some Merlot cheese.
With the new spot set, the vlogger starts cooking, keeping an eye on condensation, airflow, and the van's internal sensors while preparing the meal.
So I just heard a car pull in. I'm gonna check and see what it is. Okay, so I don't know if it's just people that are coming to have a look at the city lights, or I don't know, make out, or if it's somebody coming to tell me to move along. I don't mind having to move, it's just that I'm right in the middle of cooking. Okay, I don't know. They just parked, turned off the lights, got out of the car. They didn't bother me. I haven't heard a knock. So I think they're probably just by the cliffs, having a look at the view. Now we're gonna add a little bit of this cheese that I didn't use for the charcuterie. Now the pasta. Just kidding, never break spaghetti. Have to be patient until the pasta is soft enough that you can push the whole thing in the pot. Look at this. It's rising!
A few vehicles pull up nearby and voices can be heard, so the vlogger pauses and watches from inside the van without moving around. After a short time, the activity dies down with no interaction and cooking continues. Once the meal is done, they settle in for the night. Looking back, the vlogger stresses how important backup spots, good timing, and staying flexible are when stealth camping, pointing out that everyday people, not real danger, usually drive these decisions. On August 14th, 2017, Shay, a musician and explorer, was in Kaunas, Lithuania with two friends. They set out to explore what they believed was an abandoned grain factory, expecting nothing out of the ordinary. At first, everything felt familiar. They moved through the building easily, checking out the crumbling walls, dusty spaces, old machines, and forgotten items left behind. But what started as a normal explore quickly turned tense and dangerous.
Rick. It's worth it. I'm going to the roof. Rick,
It didn't take long for them to realize something was off. The place they thought was abandoned didn't feel empty anymore. Not wanting to draw attention, the three moved carefully, staying quiet and cautious. As they passed old tractors and heavy trucks, they kept their pace slow and steady, trying to look like they belonged there.
Rick, where are you? Cops are here. Where are you? Yes, I'm serious. Follow me quickly. Follow me quickly. We're going to the roof. They're not right in front of this place, but they're really close by. It's a fire truck and a cop.
Before long, they came across a staircase that looked like it led to an entrance. At the top, they thought they'd found a way deeper into the building, but as soon as they stepped inside, things suddenly got dangerous.
But they may have seen us on camera. I'm 100% serious. I know. Here. Up. We have to go up. We can't go out right now. Dude, I know. I got scared. I heard a truck. All right, we're gonna go up one more. In here. All right, stay in here. I gotta go check.
It didn't take long to realize the factory wasn't empty. Shay and his friends had been spotted, and their cover was gone. Whoever was inside knew they didn't belong, and what had been a calm exploration quickly turned into a panicked escape.
They're in here, they're in here.
They ran through the building with their hearts pounding, desperately looking for an exit. When they saw what seemed like a way out, they took it without hesitation. Footsteps echoed behind them as they pushed forward, hoping they could escape in time.
If he starts walking up this stair and he opens that door, I'm gonna say, there's someone in here. Yeah. Don't. If they're gonna come up here, they're gonna have already out. Because I would. Yeah. Whatever happens, follow my lead, okay? I'm not gonna lead you to danger.
As they headed down, they noticed security checking the area. It was a close call, but they hadn't been spotted yet. They slowed their pace and tried to act normal, moving like they were supposed to be there. Every step was careful, and the tension was constant.
Hey, I don't want to talk about this, but we need to. If I get caught, do you want me to not say anything about you? No, we're in this together. Okay. They're not in here. And the door's good. It's good. All right, stay back.
time was running out and they didn't know how much longer they had before being seen. They pushed forward with everything they had. It was now or never. With one last rush of adrenaline, they barely made it out safely. But as they stopped to catch their breath, they realized one of them was missing. Later, Shay confirmed that his friend had also escaped, finding his own way out without getting caught. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos.